sitting in my car less than 72 hours after one of the worst weather-related episodes in my recent history. New York City, New Jersey, and a lot of the Northeast and into the Midwest experienced a very strong snow day. Quite the challenge, actually. Snow and sleet, and it was much, much worse than was originally predicted. And so everybody got caught with their pants down. All of the departments of transportation were scurrying the entire time to catch up and were unable to do so. Roads were terrible. A normal commute that takes me roughly 45 minutes in and an hour and a quarter on the way back took more than double that time. People were just stopped. Nobody was moving. People reported being shut down completely. Roads shut down. They could not get anywhere. They were ill prepared for what happened. And it was a real challenge. So I had lots of time in the car, and time in the car could be difficult, but it could also be very powerful and very useful because I get to think and I get to reflect and I get to start to perceive things or reconsider things that otherwise I may not think about. So I wanted to provide you with some information, some ideas that I thought about that may be useful to you. Not only in terms of weather preparation, but really preparation for business as well. These are lessons for leaders, lessons for people who run their own businesses, who are leaders of teams. And I think that many of the lessons that I learned from my weather experience could be useful to all of you as well. And so number one is to listen to the forecast. Sounds really simple, but the forecast projects what is coming. Obviously, this forecast was not clear, certainly did not convey the severity of what was going to happen. But when it comes to business, we also have to listen to the forecast. We have to collect all the information that we need and use it effectively to take action. Now, that sounds simple, but the reality is it's not always so simple. One thing leaders need to know is that they can't ever get all of the information. They certainly aren't in position in most cases to wait for it. So the rule of thumb generally is get about 75% of the information that you need, run it by the people that are most important to you, and then be prepared to take action. And also recognize that you need to, of course, know what to do with that information and utilize it effectively so that you can move forward and be successful. The second one is always be fully prepared. I don't really like to wear a coat in the wintertime, but I always will put one in my car to make sure that if I ever get stuck on the side of the road, I have some kind of protection. I try to make sure I have enough gas, I have enough food, water, basic items, just in case. And that I think is important for business as well. Be fully prepared. Talk it over with your team. Discuss all the various scenarios that you can think of, what might happen good, so to speak, what positive things might happen, and what challenges might occur. And how are you going to be prepared for those so that you make sure that you have the runway that you need, you have the resources at your disposal, you have contingency plans. Think it through. Ask everybody to provide normal and even perhaps slightly extreme scenarios so that you're prepared for the challenges ahead. Another one is to manage expectations. You know, when you're in a car and you're normally going to get somewhere in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you see from your GPS that it's getting longer and slower and there are more accidents and more challenges, manage expectations. Realize that getting there safely is your number one consideration. Everything else can wait. And the same is true with business. You have to be able to manage expectations because sometimes people have certain unrealistic expectations. Maybe they think things are going to happen super quick or in a particular way. And while you certainly want to perform at the highest levels, you can't always meet expectations that are out of line. So managing those expectations are really important. Another one is to stay in your lane. When you're driving, if you try to move, normally I like to switch lanes a lot. A lot of people do, especially in this area. But when the weather is bad and there's a lot of snow in between, it could be super slick. You want to stay in your lane. And that, in my mind, relates in business to the idea of what are you really good at? What's your why? What is your expertise? What is your greatness? And try to stay within your greatness. Try to do the kind of work exclusively that you are meant to do. And take all other work, especially if you're an entrepreneur or maybe you're a service provider, you have a lot of different skills and abilities, and you can say, oh, I'll do this or I'll do that, it'll bring in a few bucks, that kind of thing. But great businesses know that if they stay in their lane, they get the most out of it and they achieve the most. Maintain a healthy distance is another one. That's number 5, right? Again, if you're on slick driving conditions, it could be hard to stop at a moment's notice. So maintaining proper distance is important. And as a leader, you sometimes need to be able to maintain distance for yourself. Maybe you're introverted and you need a little bit of space and quiet time. Or maybe you just need to think about things and kind of process them before you move forward. Maintaining distance can be helpful for you to know what to do, when to do it, and how to be successful. And finally, number 6 is break as needed. When weather is really bad, a lot of people did this. They pulled over to the side of the road. They went into a restaurant, they went into some other place, and they just rode out the storm. And they decided better to sit off on the sidelines for a couple of hours now and have a safer, easier, lighter commute on the way home than trying to force their way through in the most difficult circumstances. Sometimes we just need to take a break. We need to recharge, whether that's exercise, yoga, meditation, of course, having a healthy diet, getting enough sleep. All those things really matter, because if you don't take care of yourself, you won't have the energy to move forward and succeed. So these are the 6 lessons or the 6 ideas that I was thinking about and that I think certainly will help us in business. To review them one more time: number 1, listen to the forecast. Number 2, be fully prepared. Number 3, manage expectations. Number 4, stay in your lane. Number 5, maintain a healthy distance. And number 6, be prepared to break as needed to make sure you get there eventually in the right frame of mind. Have a great day.